So this experiment, we are looking at the measurement of wavelength of sodium light. So we are measuring the wavelength of sodium light using a diffraction grating. Okay, so this experiment will also be using the spectrometer. Okay, we'll look at the least count of the spectrometer. We did that in the other video. Okay, so you can have a look at it. I wouldn't do that. Let's focus on the wavelength. Okay, now this is the table that we are expecting. So we are expecting to see this table. Okay, so if you see this in your manual, now the diffraction grating that we are using, okay, we are supposed to use the 80 lines per mm. So this one will be using 300 lines per mm. Okay, 300 lines per millimeter. Okay, so that's the table. So you can do the correction in your book. 300 lines per mm. So we take the telescope reading to the right and then we take to the left for all the orders. Okay, so we take for the first order right and then left. We take for the second order right and left. Okay, till we finish. After that, we plot a graph of this. We plot a graph of sine D as ordinate and then N as abscissor. Okay, so let's get to it. So this is the spectrometer. So this is the spectrometer. Okay, this is the spectrum. This is the sodium light, collimator, telescope, and then the grating. Okay, first of all, we need to set this to the 0th order. So when you place this well and look through the telescope, you should be able to see the sodium light. Okay, now when you do that, now when you see that, we can now set our spectrometer to 0. Okay, so we set our spectrometer to 0. So we set it to 0. Okay, so now that's 0. Okay, then after seeing the 0th order, okay, we move to the right. Okay, when we move to the right, we will see the second order, the first order of the sodium light, the first order. We are supposed to see 4 orders on the left. So we see first, second, third, and fourth. We see the same thing on the right. Okay, so 0th order first, you move to the left, first order. When you see the first line, you see the first line, that's the 0th order. You move to the right, you see another line different from the one you saw. So that's the first order. Then you read the measurement. We've spoken about how to read the measurement for the spectrometer already in the other video. Okay, so you keep moving, you see the second order. So you fill the table with the values you get there. So for the first order, you record it here. Record the first order here to the left. The second order to the left, you record it here. The third order to the left, you record it here. The fourth order to the left, you record it here. Then you come back to 0, the 0th order again. Make sure you see the line, the 0th order. Then you move to the right, first order, second order, third order, fourth order. Then record them here. After that, we can find the L to the left, to the right, divided by 2, write it here. This minus this, divided by 2, write it here. You see, till we finish with this table. Now, on our calculator, we can just punch this, right? We can just punch this. Okay, so we punch D sine theta. So this is our theta, this is our D. The value of D that we are using is 1/300, okay, mm. So D sine theta. Then write the value here. D sine theta, write it here. D sine theta right here. So to finish filling this. After that, we plot our graph. Okay, so when we plot our graph, and then we find our slope. Mind you, we are plotting this D sine theta against n as abscissor. Okay, n is the number of orders that we have, 1 2 3 4. Okay, so we use this relation here. Okay, we are finding wavelength. Okay, so this equation, there is nothing that we have to do about it again. Everything is very simple there. So we are finding this, okay, wavelength. Now we are plotting this, the whole of this against this, meaning that whatever is in front or behind or attached to our x component is supposed to be our slope or our gradient. Meaning that when we finish, our slope should be equal to our wavelength. So finding the slope gives you the wavelength. Okay, that's the meaning. Our slope gives us the wavelength. So that's how you find the wavelength of a sodium light, because you see we are plotting this against this, right? So whatever is here is our slope or our gradient. Okay, thank you very much.